It's like literally white. Colors written on there. Quickly swatch out some colors, and yeah, so I think that's really great difference. So if you didn't have a swatch card or ability and some other pros and cons.
So the markers have arrived and this is what they look like. So this is the little package that they come in. It's in like this black sort of canvas kind of package. It has a bunch of details written on it, so I'm just quickly showing you all of that. And now I'm gonna open up this. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Like I can already like kind of like smell the alcohol. Like, oh my god. Like, I've just never seen so many colors together in my life. It just looks so satisfying. I can't wait to use them. So this is how the colors look like. So now all I've got to do is kind of put them, you know, in a rainbow pattern and make sure all 48 of them are there. So, yep, all 48 of them are there, plus one colorless blender, which makes them 49 markers. And this is how I arranged them in a rainbow pattern. And now I'm going to show you what is inside the set other than just these markers, what else they have provided you with. And this is what is actually inside the set, what comes along with the markers. So we have two swatch cards here. One of them I've already swatched out, and this is the other one. And then we have a translucent marker pad for preventing bleed through. So definitely one of the pros that Ohuhu has is giving you this marker pad. It's just so helpful because usually people tend to, well, keep paper behind the drawing or something, but this is not really helpful, as you know, if the marker bleeding is really strong, it can even bleed through the paper that's perhaps not even that thick. So this is really a lifesaver, and I even put it between my graphite drawings sometimes. So that's that. Now other than that, there's also a little booklet that they give inside. So this is what the booklet looks like. Yep, these markers that I bought are known as the Honolulu series. Like, they have the brush and the chisel nib, and they have 48 colors. So you know, you can, I'm just gonna flip through the pages and you can pause it if you want to. So here they have the different kinds of alcohol markers that they offer. The Ohuhu, I guess, Honolulu, Maui, Lanai, and all that. Then they have a color wheel here and all the colors you will get. Then they have a little blending tutorial and FAQs. I like this blending tutorial. I think I definitely want to try it out, but I don't know whether it's gonna be today. And they apparently even have a reversible brush tip, so you know, if your markers get frayed or like your current tip does not work, you can just kind of reverse it.
What is Ohuhu? Okay, was it one another? Then I think they have the same thing in different languages. Yep. So that is what basically this book is about. And I love this cover last page. It looks so cool. And yeah, so
now, another thing I love about this set is the colorless blender that they have in here. It's like literally white. And what this does, you know, as I've experimented with these things since I got it, you know, you can actually use it for blending two things or picking up color or erasing mistakes like this. Pretty dark. And I'm just gonna quickly take another area, kind of put a bunch of this on top, and now I'm gonna put on it again.
So I'm gonna take a less darker color, so I think it can be observed in a kind of better way. And also this helps you to kind of bleed or kind of blend the colors. You can see that on the side. This has sort of like a hard edge and this is a soft edge. Yeah.
I'm just gonna...
So I actually drew something behind this so you can see that. I'm starting to see that now.
Oh, so I think it makes the colors more vibrant or something on this paper, or lighter. So
I'm just gonna show you again that if I'm using this, I can actually lift some color up. Just like that. It just lifts up colors so quickly and so easily. I think this is a really good tool, so yeah, I do like this for that one reason. Look at that, you already made a little pattern, and I think that you could really use this for making stuff with that. So that's what you will get. Look at that. See, it lifted up so much color. It's like you can really see what I did there. Now I'm going to quickly go ahead and swatch some of these colors. So another pro is that the set comes with like this swatch card. So you have their code number and their colors written on there. So the swatch cards are really helpful.
So I'm going to quickly swatch out some colors. So I'm just going to swatch some colors really slowly and in real time for you, one or two of these colors. So the specialty about these swatch cards is that one of them is all the greens and the blues, all the cool colors basically, and the other set that I'm doing right now consists of all the warm colors, like all the pinks, all that red, and some purples too, like the ones you can see here. And yeah, so I think that's really great because you don't get like a weird mashup of colors. You can properly compare both the swatch cards and see the kind of cool colors you want and the warm colors you want. I think that's a really clever feature. And now this is the final color of this warm swatch card, and we are done.
And this is how they look like. This is the warm color palette, full of purples and reds and oranges. Well, not that many oranges, but yellows and stuff. And then we've got the cooler color palette, which is, the greens and the blues and the grays and some pink even. And yeah, this is how they look. These are the 48 colors in this set.
Now about the design of these markers. These markers are well designed, I must say, and I'm going to start off with the lettering in the middle. So they have the color name and the brush and the chisel nib marked all together in metallic lettering. The only kind of con is that it's like a metallic lettering, and it can be like rubbed off or like erased easily with like excessive use, or like if you're abusing your marker. But anyway, this is the brush nib, and this is how it looks like. It's on this gray tip. And the chisel nib is this side. It looks like this, and it is a broader tip. And I don't know if you've known that feeling of having your marker or color pencils roll off your table, but you do not have to fear of that, because this marker does not do that. It is roll proof, and it is designed to be roll proof. And also it has this one feature that in case the metallic lettering ever gets rubbed off, which side is brush nib and which side is chisel nib, because the one with the little gray ring on it is the brush nib, and the one without, that's a completely white and does not have the little ring on it, is a chisel nib. So yeah, you're covered even if you have your lettering rubbed off. So that's a really great design feature. However,
the colors on top of these markers, they're quite different from what they actually seem like on paper. Some of them are really vibrant, and some of them are just totally misguiding. For example, I have this color here called geranium, and it's it seems like a bright red, like a primary color, but when you actually use it, it's like this maroonish color. Look at the difference. So if you didn't have a swatch card, or if you were just suddenly going based off your intuition, or you want to color something really quickly and you accidentally grab for this color, looking at its displayed color here, you're going to get a very different and wrong color. So that is something to keep in mind. So I guess these kind of swatch cards kind of compensate for the color difference on the caps, but yeah.
Now I just want to quickly show you a page that I made on testing out its blending and its opacity, and how to use a colorless blender and what all it does, and whether the colors are really that opaque and all of that stuff. So I'm just kind of quickly showing you what I did. Now that was some of the general points and things that I wanted to show you separately, but now it's time to actually use these markers to make a drawing, and also share some final points on the affordability and some other pros and cons and some other final thoughts. So I was using these markers for coloring this drawing, and I must say they work really great. And based on the type of paper you're using, the bleed through kind of varies, but they're great for blending. And when I was coloring Anna's dress here, they worked really great. And so here is a segment where I actually was trying to apply shadows on her face, but I didn't really like the little blob on her cheek. I thought it looked weird, so Even after I went over it with a color called Barely Beige, that's a skin color, I was able to take it off or erase that mistake completely, or kind of sort of to make it look okay with the colorless blender. So this is me kind of using the colorless blender in like real time, not real time, but like, you know, for a real application. And it just really worked out so well. So even after I blended in all these colors and put all these layers, I was able to kind of erase that mistake. So that's what I'm doing here right now. That little dark blotch just kind of, I mean, it kind of become a little blotchy, but then I just went over it with skin color again, and it just kind of looks fine. You will see that in the end, you wouldn't even like notice it. So yeah, that's the colorless blender working there. So yep, I do approve the presence of this 49th marker in the set. Now another point that I did not mention is the affordability of these markers. So yeah, I got these off Amazon, so I got it off online, and I got them for $30.49. That's like the US dollars. In rupees it would be 2,499. In euros it would be 27.89, and it would be 23.79 pounds. So I think these markers pretty much come in the affordable range. Like, they are quite cheap compared to like other marker brands like Copics. So if you've really been wanting to get markers for a long time, I think you should definitely go for these. They are like you know, suitable for beginners as well as intermediates. So I would kind of consider myself as an intermediate artist. But you know, if you're an expert too, you could use this, but I don't know how much its light fastness or its real quality is for an expert, like if you're selling these drawings or whatever. But I think they have pretty good quality. So I actually did a little experiment and tested its light fastness. So what I did is I, you know, swatched these colors on paper, and I kept them out, literally exposed to dark sunlight for like let me see, around 4 days, and this is how their color changed. So I think some of them became paler, but the absolute black still pretty much looks really dark and really black. So I guess the black didn't change, but you know, the lighter colors kind of I guess you can't really notice the paleness in them, but those vibrant colors and the purple that I had, you know, swatched became like a maroon. So yeah, they are not that light fast, but I think it changes kind of from color to color, and also they were exposed to direct sunlight. A lot of my drawings that I've used you know, the markers in the past years, they haven't really kind of like lost their color. You know, I keep my sketchbook somewhere in a cupboard or something, so they're kind of just sitting in the dark and nothing really happens to them. So yeah, they are pretty good compared to light fastness. But if you keep them in direct sunlight, or if you're gonna keep it in an exhibit or something exposed to sunlight for a long time, then I think you might have to, well, search for some other options. So my final thoughts or review of these markers is that I love these markers so much because it helps me do illustrations much faster, and they have such vibrant colors, and they also blend pretty well, and you can also have a colorless blender which can pick up your mistakes. So yeah, I mean, I've been, you know, kind of facing this sort of art block whenever I use paints, because I can't just finish the illustration on time, and that's pretty much why I got these markers, so that I can finish stuff in my sketchbook more faster, and the colors can also be kind of vibrant, and I don't have to like keep mixing paints and all of that.
Also, another thing that I wanted to mention is that this set comes with very saturated colors. They do not have a lot of pastels, but if you want pastels, you should probably buy the pastel set. So yeah, whether you're an intermediate or a beginner, these markers are fun to try out.
Like, I've never used markers before, but this is how the final result looks like. And I hope you guys like this little drawing. I've been wanting to make some fan art of Frozen for a long time, and this is how it looks like.
I hope you enjoyed the video and the review, and I hope you like these markers when you get them, and I will see you guys in my next video. Until next time, bye!